Okay, so control is definitely one part of this topic, and that will be one thing that a lot of people do struggle with. Hey guys, so today I'm going to be talking about how psychology is affected by religion. And I found this in a comment and thought that's actually something that would be interesting to dive into. So I'm not going to be going super deep. I just want to go over kind of like a basic summary of what I found. And there was a lot of common themes that I did find that was over this topic, so I'm just going to be going over 3 of them. And basically, it's the first one is control, family, and environment. Now, control, a lot of the studies showed that whenever people are in signs of distress, like if they're going through trauma, if they're going through like a health crisis, anything like that, of course, when it comes to having faith, people tend to go towards their faith more in times of trouble. And the reason why I think people do that is because, okay, then they feel like that's the one thing that, even if like everything else is falling apart, that will still be there, because it's so ingrained in a lot of people's minds now that whenever you were little, like say you had really religious parents and you were little and then you grow up and that's what you believe, it would make sense for you to go towards that, especially in a time of need. And it's different for everybody. So having other people not be like that, of course there's going to be people like that, but it is a common theme, and I found that was actually pretty interesting. And I think that just like if you take away all the stuff that we have now, like back in the day, of course there wasn't that much stuff to do. Like we didn't have all this technology, we didn't have all these groups that we can just join on Facebook. Like all you had was basically a book, and like if you went to church, then you had that as your community. So that also plays a big part of why people, especially the older generation, like your grandparents and your parents, of course they would turn to that because that's what they know. That was their life. So of course that would be what they turn to. And I feel like it's different for like the younger generation now, like millennials and Gen Zs. Like we have all this technology at our fingertips, and like basically all we see is like the social media, and sometimes we watch the news. I know I don't. I will every so often, but whenever I see like TV, the news, and all that, like I don't ever see religion, like religious things about God and all that. Maybe if it's about politics or something, but I don't really see anything religious now that I think about it. If it's like, of course, if it's Christmas or Easter, then things do pop up, like the movies that we all love for Christmas. But yeah, it's a completely different world for us than it was for them. And having that control, there was also a study done that showed that if a person has control of their life, if they have their financial steps in order, and they don't have any, like they're not going through any health problems, then they're less likely to be super religious. And that does make sense, because you're just so busy doing whatever you're doing that sometimes it's just, you don't feel like you need to be super religious and all that. Now the second one, I might go out of order, sorry, but it was family. So I do feel like that plays a big role in how a person like turns out, like if they're going to be a good person overall, like the morality, and or if they're going to be a bad person. And I know that even if, like, the parents are the best parents in the world, it still doesn't mean that the kid can't turn out bad later on. So, like, for instance, if the parents are really religious and the kid always goes to church every Sunday with them, and they have good morals and everything, so yes, of course, that kid is going to be, like, probably, like, a very well-behaved kid. They have good manners, they have good morals, and they know right from wrong, so their psychology is very much good overall. Now, if you have two parents that are not that religious, then that leaves more time for the kid to basically just explore different things they might then like this religion more, or like, that sounds weird. What I mean is they might not believe in it because they never really had to, in a way, be forced, or they never got exposed to it. They might just become an atheist or something, I don't know. But the way that they will turn out could be drastically, or probably most likely will be drastically different than the other kid that I was talking about. They'll be expressing themselves more, and like, maybe they'll get into religion, believing in God later on in life, but that would just be, there's a lot of variables to include, not just your parents and all that. So that's what I mean about how family could basically make the kid be completely different 180. And then the last and final topic or point was structure, or no, I think I said community. Yeah, community. So say, like, if your community was basically, like, really focused on religion, like, say if everybody in your neighborhood went to church, and, like, in your, like, town, whatever, everything was really focused on God and all that, of course, you're most likely going to end up growing up with that belief that, okay, that's what I've been around, that's what I've been exposed to, and that's all you know, so therefore you're just gonna follow that. Now, I'm not saying there's anything wrong with that, I'm just saying this as an example. Like, there's people that's basically how they lived, and that's just one example I have. So I just want to show the differences between basically how your community can really affect how you turn out. And the psychology, like I said about that, it's just all about multiple things: your family, your community, control, like I said. And that was just kind of like a brief overlay of what I wanted to get into this. And if there's more that you guys want me to talk about, and if you have any video suggestions, please put that down in the comments below. And I would really appreciate it if you subscribe to this channel so I can give out some more information. And I hope you guys found this helpful, and I'll see you in the next video.